This is the Shaver Prep Football Podcast, episode 25, season 2, presented by Aquarius Home Services and brought to you by True Stone Financial, 612 Quarterbacks, Pizza Barn, and powered by 10K Construction. The Moorhead Spuds scrimmaged at Anoka the last week of July. It's a big deal because Moorhead is moving up from Class 5A to 6A this fall. It sounds easy, but it's a leap, and the bar has been raised a lot. Last week, they tested themselves, and then right afterwards, we got a chance to hear the progress report firsthand. And joining me now in studio is Moorhead's head football coach Kevin Feeney and star junior quarterback Jett Feeney, fresh off that scrimmage up in Anoka. Your first look really at a 6A team up close before you start your season. What'd you come away with today? What stood out for you today about your team? And
we talked as a program, and we just said, every environment that we're going into, every opponent that we're going to be playing here this upcoming fall is brand new to all of us.
Yep.
And so we need to just find out. And it's kind of the old Hoosiers thing, right? It's like, guess what? They put their pants on the same way we do. They buckle their helmets the same way we do, and we're going to be all right. So, you know what? It was a great scrimmage. I appreciate the staff at Anoka for having us. And, you know what? Anytime you can get great work in, which I thought we did, and leave both teams left healthy, that's the key this time of year.
Did you have questions that maybe got some answers today?
A little bit of coach speak, but once I watch the film, I'll have a better idea of that. But, I wanted to make sure that our guys just understood, like, you know what? We play a good brand of football, and we just got to go out and do things the way we do things. And it should correlate, and it should match up. And so, obviously there's a lot of guys that this is their first varsity experience, let's say. And so to do it against a great team like Anoka, it's a great opportunity for us to get better.
And you have a chance to sling the ball today. Mm-hmm. Just talk to me about your process today. What were you hoping to get out of that scrimmage as you get ready for your season?
I was kind of just hoping to see how the 6A teams, the D-line, the corners, what they would be doing. I mean, it's not crazy different, but I was just trying to sling it around and hit the open guys. And I just, trying to get a good look on how the 6A teams are going to be.
It's not that much different from the quality of 5A teams that you guys have played, right? I mean, there's a difference in the level, maybe the line play more than anything else. But did you notice a difference today at all or not?
I didn't think it was a big difference, but it was, maybe I've heard
things.
From my friends, and I know some people that play in 6A, they just say all the D-line, and they're just way bigger in 6A.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think it's very different.
You got a chance to throw the ball a lot today.
Yeah.
That's fun, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I was in your huddle a few times when Dad's calling the plays, and it sounds like everything's we're going to sling it here.
Yep.
I mean, 6A football, Kevin, the teams that win 6A, they're kind of the ground and pound.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yep.
So if you're coming in with your style of play, how do you think that stacks up?
Right. That's obviously a concern, and we need to make sure that we understand. But in high school football, especially where we are, we don't, our kids are from Moorhead. We don't get a lot of transfers so we got to kind of put our identity around the kids that we have. And so, I kind of look at it as a little bit like Elk River, right? I mean, we're very familiar with Elk River. Elk River, when I first got to Moorhead, Elk River was a really struggling program in my first year. And then Coach Hamilton comes in and institutes the Triple T, and it changed everything, right? And I think, he looked for a formula that was a little bit different and give them an opportunity for success. And I kind of feel like we're got to be that difference because, to your point of, there's a lot more depth at the biggest schools in 6A than what we currently have. And so as we transition into 6A, we've got to play to our strengths, and athletically is our strength. And so we've got to find ways to spread teams out and hopefully put some defenses in conflict with that way, because if we were to just line up and go 11 versus 11 every single play, it's going to be difficult for us to be successable.
Did you anticipate being thrown into the West?
No.
With Eden Prairie, Minnetonka, Maple Grove, instead of maybe the North,
right,
where Rogers is there, who you open up against, but Anoka, those teams.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Because, man, you talk about a gauntlet.
Right.
I mean, that's the gauntlet.
It's basically welcome to the SEC of 6A football is kind of how I put it. No, I thought, when we were going through the process and you kind of fill out all those forms and it was like, okay, geography, the North fits a little bit more. Like schools, as far as like demographics and the makeup of the school, we're a little bit more like the North. And so, I think sometimes when you're that way outside piece in the board game, you get put wherever they need to fill in a spot, and that might have been us. So, but we've always taken on the philosophy of we're going to play whoever's on the schedule, and we're going to go out and we're going to compete, and that's all you can ask. And we've got the right kids that want the challenge and that want the competition, and we know what we're up against. So like I said, it's the SEC version of Minnesota football, and so. A big challenge for us is going to be to try to figure out how to stay healthy and develop depth at the same time, and still, because when football, if you want to play a physical brand of football, you got to practice a physical brand of football, and so we've got to be able to replicate that, which is going to be really hard. But hopefully, our opponents are going to have a hard time replicating what we do. Hopefully, against them.
For those that don't know, Jett had a great season last year as a sophomore, 3,200 yards, 48 touchdowns, led the state in passing. How are you a different quarterback? A different football player than you were a year ago?
I think, the game just like over the years, it just slows down more and more. And, in 6A, I don't know like how it's going to be, but I think it'll be a good year, and I think I'll be able to sling it around. We have really good weapons, all our receivers. They're really athletic. They can get off the line, get open. Even if it's man, they're pressed. They're strong. We have fast receivers. I think we'll be really good this year.
Do you feel like at this level you might have to get rid of the ball faster? And is that some of the things you guys are thinking about and working on?
Yeah, that's what we thought about. We think we definitely going to have to get the ball a little bit faster than last year, I think.
Yeah. How is it coaching because you've had a quarterback as your son play for you before, but how is he as a player? What do you see the big difference?
Like he said, I think just the experience and the composure and understanding the speed of the game. And I think as let's say he gets more comfortable with our upcoming opponents and the knowledge, but really it come down to our preparation. And, we've always been a get the ball out quick team. But to get to that second and third levels, it's going to require a little bit more. And we've got to have a great run game, and we've got a great running back in Tay Rich and Madison Sewell. We got two really good running backs. And so our offensive line is extremely athletic. We're not going to be the biggest offensive line on the field any given night, but I do think our kids are super intelligent and they understand leverage, and we've got to play to that, and that's got to be our strength.
I'm so intrigued by the travel aspect of your situation. And it's always been an issue anyway, no matter who you played in 5A, but so much maybe in the spotlight this year because of the teams you're playing and where you're playing. For example, I think week 2 or week 3, you go to Woodbury.
Yep.
I mean, other than Stillwater, I can't think of a farther 6A team to go play from one end of the state to the other. That's a solid 4-hour drive without traffic. So how do you guys navigate that travel aspect?
I'd say one thing is once again, try to play to our strengths, right? Yeah. These guys, more so in other sports, because other sports, you're playing a lot more games than just football, and you're playing on different nights of the week, not Friday nights like us. But so these guys, he plays basketball, he plays baseball, he's in track. And so these guys travel a lot to the cities on Tuesday night and come back and go to school, right? Yeah. And so they're kind of accustomed to it. I would say we got to play to the advantage of, when you play 5A teams, there's a lot of outstate 5A teams. And so they travel also. Bemidji, Brainerd, right. You know what I mean? They're traveling a lot too. And so there's no advantage for us. Well, like you said, the 6A schools aren't used to coming 3.5 to 4 hours, like you're saying, depending on traffic. And so hopefully that's an advantage for us because we're normal. That's the norm for us. But hopefully we can, put that in people's heads a little bit that it's a big deal coming up to Moorhead.
So how do you pass the time as you're coming to a game? Maybe you're thinking about the game, so maybe that's all part of it. But when the game is over, after you play at Woodbury, and you got a 4+ hour drive back home, are you just out like a light, or what do you guys? How do you think about those things?
I think after a win, the bus is pretty hype after the games for the first couple hours, and then towards the end, it seems like everyone just slumps and everyone's sleeping at the end. But it's definitely exciting at the first couple hours of the bus.
And it's going to be even more exciting, I would think, because you're playing different teams. I mean, this is a whole new experience. 6A stadium, 6A crowds. What's your, as you guys talk amongst yourselves as players, what's the conversation about that like?
I mean, we're really excited to like see how the atmosphere is going to be. We don't have any more we don't really have rivals right now. We're going to have to like build them up in the future, but I think we're really excited to start competing against these 6A teams.
The great thing about Jett and Tay and your other guys, David Mack, you're all juniors, right? So this 6A experience isn't just one and done for you guys. This is a two-year deal. Does that get you excited about?
Yeah, that makes me really excited.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what do you anticipate is going to be your biggest challenge as a quarterback in 6A?
I think just every week, I think we're going to have we have a tough schedule this year. So I think it's just going to be every week. We're going to have to like focus on that week. We're going to have a lot of preparation, I think. And, like every week's going to be a hard week. So we're going to have to prepare a lot and just go at it every week, 1 week at a time.
So the recruiting right now for you, what's the latest? I know you're being recruited. What's the latest?
Right now is a dead period. So it's pretty calm right now. So I think it'll start picking back up once closer towards the season.
Do you think about that part of this a lot? And how does Dad kind of help you navigate that?
Right now, I'm kind of just focusing on the season. Recruiting, it's like fun and all, but right now I'm just trying to focus more on the season.
Yeah. And how do you keep him focused with all that out there?
Yeah, it's a little bit easier this year, right? When you got all the new opponents that we've got. And, I think, like he said, we're going to lean on our preparation. I think from our standpoint as a staff is you get comfortable with the teams that you're playing on just the style of play and what the coaches' DNA maybe would be like, right? And so our style of play, it's going to be, are they going to bring pressure or are they going to drop, right? And so we don't know that because we're that anomaly team. So it's not like we can go back and look and find a ton of film on some teams. And we understand like Edina likes to throw the football around and they've obviously got a great quarterback. And so like there's hopefully going to be some correlations where we can get a little bit. But once you really get into it and the years of experience, I mean, we've developed some great rivalries in the outstate with Bemidji, Brainerd, Alexandria, Sartell, and all those kind of things. And you just kind of get to that feeling, right? Hey, when it comes time and their backs against the wall, they're bringing +1. You know what I mean? And so we don't know that kind of stuff. And so something that we've got to really lean on our film preparation, and we sell hard to our players, and the formula for success doesn't change, right? I mean, we've got to have a great summer in the weight room, get a great speed work. And then once we get to fall camp, our practices and the focus and the intention to detail have got to be really, really high for us to be good.
Do you feel like you'll be in 6A for a long time?
That's a great question. I would assume so. I do.
Just because of your enrollment and where everything sits?
And just kind of looking at the landscape, I do think, I'm just kind of my own, being an outstate guy, I don't have a lot of knowledge with the Metro, but I do think as the outstate schools kind of continue to grow, that I wouldn't be shocked if maybe that the number of teams in 6A would increase to kind of spread some things out and accommodate maybe some of the Rochesters and the Brainards and Moorheads and maybe Duluth, I don't know. But I don't know, but like I said, I think the way I always look on it is each year as high school football, we've got to do what we've got to do. And there's certainly staples that we believe in, right? I mean, it's all the things that I grew up learning from my dad that was a high school coach playing at North Dakota State. And then the formula, like I said, from North Dakota to Minnesota, that was a jump, right? And so now it's 5A to 6A. And so it's exciting for us to have the challenge of new upcoming opponents.
Last question, the community in general, what's the feeling about having 6A schools coming to your stadium to play this year? How exciting will that be?
I think it's really exciting. All the people in my school and my grade, they're really excited. Everyone's saying they're going to come to like a bunch of the games. It's going to be really exciting, I think.
Yeah, for you?
For us, I think a lot of the media is super excited to have Wayzata, Eden Prairie, Minnetonka, Edina,
Crazy.
you know what I mean? And all the list of teams that are coming out to play us because, like I said, in the other sports, we play them, but typically we're on the road and coming to see them. So, them being mandated to come play us up in Moorhead is all right with us.
Well, you guys open the season Thursday night, August 28th. You get Rogers, a fellow 5A team that's moving up to 6A.
Great rivalry. That's probably one of the ones that Jett was, Rogers has been a great opponent for us.
And Mark France does such a great job there too. Kevin, thank you. Jett, thank you very much. Good luck this season.
Hey, thanks for having us
on. Appreciate it.
Yep.
We'll be right back. It is the dog days of summer and your AC may be feeling it. And summer isn't over yet. So don't let one last heat wave cause a meltdown in your life. No one needs that. Upgrade your furnace and AC system now with 36 months off, 0% financing based on credit approval with the Aquarius Home Services State Fair Special. And doggone it, spend the rest of your summer cool and worry-free. Schedule your free estimate at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended. This episode is brought to you by 612 Quarterbacks, Minnesota's premier quarterback development program. At 612 Qs, they're committed to creating a high-quality quarterback development program, both affordable and accessible. Their training goes beyond the basics, not only focusing on proper throwing mechanics and footwork, but also building strong football IQ, leadership, and resilience. Their mission is to educate, inspire, and challenge athletes to raise their standards on the field and in life. Through training and mentorship, they're building more than quarterbacks. They're building a community rooted in growth, accountability, and shared success. Learn more today at 612quarterbacks.com. Well, truth be told, I have known Michael Floyd since he was a fifth grade basketball player on a travel team that my oldest son, Ryan, played for. Actually went to nationals at Cocoa Beach and I think finished 12th that year. But that team included Jordan Taylor, who played at Wisconsin in basketball, Andy Burns, who played at St. John's. Some really good players. So I've known you for a long time. I've known you since before you became Michael Floyd, right? But those were great times. I mean, that's you could kind of see the Michael Floyd that we saw as a high school player, college player, and a professional football player, the beginnings of it, because you had the legs. I mean, you were fast. How would you describe your athletic growing up in that time?
Well, I didn't really know anything about basketball. One of my good friends, he introduced me and said that Minnesota Magic is about to have a tryout. So I'm like, okay, I'll go and try at Eden Prairie High School. And unfortunately, I made the A team. And that's where I met all them guys.
Yeah.
And Jordan Taylor's dad said it was the first time he ever seen a kid beat his son in a race in conditioning drills after practice. So I was just a guy out there just running. And when anyone threw the ball down the court, I'm the one going to chase it and lay it up. So it was some fun times.
Yeah, but you're playing it down a little bit. You could see the athleticism, though, of what was to come. So how did you manifest all of that over the course of time? Was it just playing in the parks? Was it just, how did you go from that to becoming the football player you were at Cretin, the outstanding player?
I think playing with older kids.
Really?
In my neighborhood, everyone was at least 5 to 10 years older than me.
No way.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I was always, you would think the younger guy be picked last, but I was picked either 1 or 2 in competition in football around the area. So everyone thought I was good, but it just didn't come to me. I was just out there playing football and basketball, just having fun as a little kid.
Right. Which is what you should do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I don't think it got serious until, after my sophomore year of high school, where I was like, hey, like scholarships are coming. I can really hone in on and focus and get better at these sports.
So when you were at Cretin, because your growing up was tough, you get to Cretin, and not only do you go to school there, but you have to work there too, right? In order to go to school there.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So I came from the east side of St. Paul, Hazel Park Middle School, where it's not the best area, not the best, education. And it's crazy. The sophomore coach on the West Side Boosters where I played, he coached at Cretin, and he told me and my friend Shady about, you guys should think about going to Cretin. And we didn't know anything about it. We're going to go to Johnson. He was going to South St. Paul High School. The story went in there. But we saw them play against Johnson. They both were 7-0 and 7-0. And they beat them 63-7. And me and my friend looked at each other and said, we're going to Cretin. But obviously it was a totally different space than what I'm used to. but I enjoyed it. I took on everything. The coaches there at the time, gave me the best opportunity possible and put me in the best position possible to be successful.
So what did you do at Cretin? You had to do janitorial work. What was it that you had to do in order to earn that scholarship to play there?
So as you know, my mom never had her license.
Yeah.
So we had to take the city bus everywhere.
Think about that.
Yeah. So I took 2 city buses, Line 71, and then the 14 at the time to get to Cretin by 6 a.m. So we were in charge of cleaning the weight room in some classrooms. So school started, I think, at 7:30. So we had to be done by then, to get to class. But that's usually how I paid off my school tuition. And yeah, that's how it was.
And what did that, as you look back, Michael, what did that do for you as a person? When you look at that, having to get up in the morning, take those buses, what did that give you in life, do you think?
Hard work, commitment, appreciation.
Yeah.
I really, give a lot to my mom because she took the same route as me, working hard and being able to, manage, 5 kids and me being the youngest and the craziest. So, so she had to handle me, but I learned from her seeing, if you want to make something happen, you got to do the little things to make it work. And just a little thing of taking the city bus to school, if you want to be on time, if you want to, work off them tuition, that money, you got to go and, clean the weight room in the classrooms there. So
for those that don't maybe know the numbers for Michael, junior year, 63 catches, 1,240 yards. This is at Cretin, 16 touchdowns, 59 receptions, 17 touchdowns. Senior year, you're 2-time Care 11 All-Metro football player. I've said this before. Larry Fitzgerald, who obviously, and we'll talk about that in a second, and you are the 2 greatest wide receivers in my 40 years of covering high school sports that I've ever seen. What do you think made you special on the football field? What did you do that other receivers couldn't do that made you different?
Oh, well, being a bigger receiver, you don't really find, them being super fast and quick. But, with my size and strength, it gave me the advantage on the football field going against little defenders. But my mindset, I just wanted to be the best wide receiver, ever.
Right.
And what do you have to do that? You have to put in the time and put in, that work that no one sees you do.
Describe that work. What's the work that no one sees?
For example, I never had a spring break in college. I went out to California and trained with older guys who were getting ready to be drafted.
So you could learn what they were. Gotcha.
Exactly. So it's just, after I got done with college or high school, when I got into scholarship, it's just like, it's go time. You got to hone in. And if you really want your dreams to come true,
right,
and give yourself the opportunity at least,
right,
you got to put in this time and this hard work that,
right,
not too many people see.
Right. You choose Notre Dame. You go there, you play 4 years. You end up getting drafted in the first round by Arizona, and that's that connection with Larry Fitzgerald Jr. because he's already an established receiver at Arizona. What was that relationship like? I've read some things where, you were so excited to play with Larry side by side. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, Minnesota's super small. So, when someone makes that professional level, we all kind of know each other.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting in New York, sitting in the round table in the backstage with my family. And Fitz is texting me saying, if you're at 13, we're going to take you.
He's texting you that, not the coach. Yeah.
Not the coach.
How does he know that?
So I'm like, I don't know how true this is, but we'll see. So, it got to 13 and I didn't take off my coat because, I'm sweat's coming down to my belt buckle. I'm nervous because
really?
It's just.
Why would you be nervous? Because you're going to get drafted.
Yeah, but you never know where you're going to go. He could be fooling you and, right, the GM and the head coach might be thinking differently, at 13. Yeah. But it came, I got drafted at 13 and then the next day I was out in Arizona.
Yeah. And so walk through that that experience because the NFL doesn't quite turn out the way I think you would agree, you would hope for. Talk about that part of your situation, your career, because you had some struggles with alcohol. You, at Notre Dame, you got in some trouble late in your career there. How did that all happen? And as you look back now in your life, how do you look at that time in your life?
I think that time
because I've heard you talk about this, so it's not something that you haven't publicly discussed.
And I love talking about it because I feel like a lot of people can relate,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
can help them in their life when if they're making decisions.
Yeah.
But
Which is appreciated, I'm sure.
100%. But I felt invisible. I felt no one could stop me.
Yeah.
I felt above everyone else at that time. And when I got a DUI in college, nothing, it was basically a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Because 99% of everyone else who had an issue like that got kicked out of school.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to stay there. But I still didn't learn my lesson because nothing really happened to me, until I got to the league. And it's not just your teammates knowing, that you got a DUI, the whole world.
Yeah, the whole world.
So I always tell people when I talk to them, about my situation is, if Randy Shaver gets a DUI or someone, just Joel Schmalter on the street, you pay a few $1,000s and go to classes and it goes away. Mind you, you wake up in the morning and the whole world knows what you do. You click on every TV channel, every sports channel, and your face is right there. So it was super difficult. And, I had to look at myself and be like, what do you want in your life? And it wasn't until really I met my wife where she put her foot down. And
she's the one that said no.
She's the one who said no and said, if you want to keep going down this path, it's going to be without us.
I've heard you say, I've seen some videos where you talked about this and you said, she's the only person in your life who told me no.
Yeah.
Why is that? How is that, do you think?
I think when you get, a lot of people, when they see money, they think that person's above them. So, I'm never going to say anything to them. I'm just going to let them live their life. Not going to tell them the truth. And it wasn't until I met my wife when she was like, hey, buddy, I don't know who you think you are. But this is how it's ran here and this is how I roll. So you either get it down pat now or, me and the kids are leaving you.
Wow.
And said,
this was 5 years into your marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, honestly, I looked in the mirror and I was like, look, this is it. You want to be there with your family. And you don't want to be that dad where, your kids are asking, hey, where's dad? Oh, nah, he couldn't stop doing, drinking. So we had to leave him. So I didn't want to be that person, so I quit 2.5 years now.
Good for you.
Feel great.
Good for you.
My wife's happy.
That's all that matters, right?
I'm really happy too.
That's good.
And now I can go out and, kind of tell my story. And, it's great. It actually is kind of therapy for myself.
Sure.
To be able to finally not be ashamed of or embarrassed of who I am.
Right.
But to actually, vocally come out and say, hey, I was wrong.
Right.
But I flipped the switch.
So now let's back up now that you've talked about that. How do you look at that NFL career? Is it like what could have been for you? Or are you past that? Because you didn't quite get the time in that you wanted. Michael, you were such a great player. It seems, from my viewpoint, sad that you weren't able to have the Larry Fitzgerald kind of career. Because you deserved that. Yeah. You were that good.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to do 17 years, but I definitely wanted to get to 10. And, I feel like, you can't look back and be like, what a shame.
Right.
And because honestly. You
can only kick yourself so much, right?
And I think honestly the same kind of stuff would have been going on if, you would have gave me $60, $70 million. I would have never learned my lesson. But now, I've done very well in my life and making money, but I would never learned, because I would have still been doing the same dumb things.
Yeah.
So I look at it as like, something good that came out of my life. And I was fortunate enough to play the game that I love. I should have played it longer, but current events, didn't let that happen. But, you flip the switch and, I feel like I'm a way better person now than I was before.
This is all great conversation for a high school coach and players, just to kind of soak in that there are things in life. You can have all the success on the field, but you've got to be able to take care of the things off the field too, because they all work together. If you were a high school football coach today and you were coaching wide receivers in Minnesota, what would be the 2 or 3 things you would say to them? You've got to do this, this, and this if you want to be great. What would you say? Because you've lived it. What would you say?
I think surround yourself with people who have the same goals.
Okay.
I remember my same 5 to 7 friends, we all got a scholarship to go to school. And I would say work at your craft. Work at what you're not good at.
When you say
better.
work at it, like specifically, what would are the most important things in that?
I worked out every single day.
Every single day?
Every single day, minus Sunday.
Okay.
And I worked out route running on the field. So I don't care what the quarterback, who it was, but I was out on the field perfecting my craft and working on my routes.
Now, some kids would say, God, that's boring. I can run 3 or 4 at full speed and God, I'm kind of done. Did you run on at full speed all the time? I mean, did you push yourself that
I think
way?
the only way to get to, the place where I wanted to be is to push yourself. And to be honest, none of it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun at all.
Yeah.
But it's dedicated and commitment to keep you in that mindset to be like, hey, this is the end goal.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Do you want to get to where you want to be in life, playing a pro?
Yeah.
Or do you want to sell yourself short and be like, what if?
Yeah.
So I really honed in and try to put myself in the best position possible to make it.
Yeah. High school football today feels different than when you played. Really, probably not, but they're bigger. They are faster. They're stronger. You live here in Minnesota year round. I'm sure you get a chance to see high school football in a sense. What's your impression of the state is turning out Division I? We got 4 4-star kids going to the Gophers this year from this class of 26. What's your impression of Minnesota high school football?
I think it's, one of the best in the country. And now we're getting recognized, not just football, but other sports too, that, we do bring out athletes. For football, you don't just come over here and get the guy from the country,
Right.
a bigger offensive lineman. There's actually skilled players that are coming out of Minnesota, and it's exciting to see for sure.
Yeah. Lou Holtz used to always say when he coached here, the arms and the legs have to come from somewhere else.
Yeah.
The beef is here.
Yeah.
But you're right. The arms and the legs are coming from here, and they have been. You were part of that. Larry was part of that. Thomas Tapay, the great running back at Johnson, part of that. Joe Mauer, if he would have played football, would have been part of that too. So there's definitely great players there. Last question. When you played in the NFL, what's the moment that stands out to you? What's that one thing that when you close your eyes at night and you think of your NFL time, what comes to mind? What was there a play? Was there a moment?
I'll tell you, just having confidence and your teammates having confidence in you. I remember we were playing in Jacksonville versus the Jaguars, and I think I missed my first ball that Carson Palmer threw to me. And then next series, we started on the 9-yard line. And he looked at me in the huddle. He goes, I'm going to you every single time. And for 9 plays down the field.
No way.
We went on. Just looked at me every single time.
That was his decision?
His decision. And I said, okay, let's go. And it's so cool to see that a guy who's 10, 12 years older than me, look at me in my eyes and say, look, we're going to you. So
were you a rookie at the time?
I was 2 or 3 years in.
Okay.
So he's
So Larry's in the same huddle.
same huddle.
Did Larry hear him say that
Heard
he
it.
wasn't going to get the ball
Heard
for
it.
9 straight plays?
But if you know Larry's not,
Yeah.
a selfish guy.
Yeah.
He's more
Right.
about,
Right.
he wants to win.
Yeah.
And however way that can be done, obviously he wants himself to be included too.
Yeah.
But that was just a series of like, hey, like, this dude has confidence in me. He knows my ability. And we went right down the field. I did and scored. Yeah. So it's awesome.
I appreciate you doing this. I know there's a lot of high school football fans in Minnesota that when they are like me, when they think about the receivers, how would you, if you had a Mount Rushmore of receivers, your face is absolutely on that for the career that you had at Cretin.
I appreciate it.
It was amazing. Thanks, Michael.
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. 10K Construction is your one stop for all your general contracting needs, whether interior, exterior, residential, commercial, or multifamily properties. They build relationships with their clients, and that's how they've grown their business through referrals. Plus, they are teaming up with LP SmartSide to become Minnesota's premier siding installer. And they're also partnering with IKO Shingles as well. They've got the best of the best to do the job right. 10K Construction covers both Minnesota and Wisconsin. Now, the rumor is they charge a little extra because it's Packer land. I'm not sure about that, but what I am sure about, 10K Construction is the company you want handling all of your general contracting needs. Go to 10kconstruction.com for details. These days, you can get a checking account, a credit card, or a mortgage just about anywhere. But what you can't always find is the personal touch of a neighborhood credit union like True Stone Financial. I've known the folks at True Stone for many years. They put people first. They take time with you, they get to know you, and they use their expertise to connect with the services that help achieve your financial well-being. True Stone is a not-for-profit financial institution owned by the very people they serve, and they're in your neighborhood. Visit truestone.org and get to know them. They can't wait to meet you. True Stone is an equal housing opportunity lender. Well, if you're wondering where's the beef, we found the beef. They're sitting right here. Howie Johnson out of Forest Lake, future Gopher, defensive lineman. Andrew Trout out of Ricori, future Gopher, offensive lineman. I'd say probably 540, 550 pounds collectively between the two of you, not counting me.
It sounds
about right.
Sounds close enough.
What are you right now? What's your height, weight?
Right now I'm 6'4", 265.
Is that what you've been for most of your last couple of years? Played
No,
about that?
I've actually grown a fair amount. I've grown about 2 inches since freshman year, and I've put on about 45 pounds.
Wow. How about you?
Right now I'm 6'7", around 305.
Around 305.
It varies from morning to night.
Is it a comfortable weight?
Yeah.
Playing weight for you?
For sure. Yeah, I'm very comfortable where I'm at right now.
Now, I'm sure the Gophers would say, gosh, we'd like to get you to 315, 320, whatever. How do you think that will feel as a football player to put that weight on?
Well, it's hard to tell because I've never been that heavy before, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there and see how it feels and feel it out as we go.
Well, this is all very exciting. These guys committed to the Gopher football program months ago. And so you're coming into your senior year. This is it. You're playing with your buddies for the last time. You guys you've grown up with your whole life. Talk a little bit about this season and maybe trying to find a way to enjoy it, let it soak in, take in everything.
Well, this season, at Forest Lake, the past 3 years, we've made it all the way to the section championship and unfortunately have lost every single year. And this year, I made a declaration to myself and my football team. I hate losing more than I enjoy winning.
Yeah.
So I made a commitment to myself and everybody that we are going to go all the way because I don't like losing 3 years in a row. I want to play more than 10 games. I want to play 13. and I want to get Forest Lake the big one that we've never had. And obviously it's not going to be easy. I mean, there's going to be a lot of sweating and a lot of hurting and a lot of like film and a lot of extra things you have to do outside of just football practice. But that's what makes good football teams super good, is like the extra stuff they do, like whether it be team bonding, going out to the lake, doing like a Madden or a college football tournament at someone's house. It's the little things that go the long ways.
So you're bought in.
Yes.
The key is to get everybody else
Yes.
to buy in.
And that's where it gets a little difficult because like different things motivate different people.
Right.
Like my other defensive lineman, Nate Schleif, like I could yell and scream at him and he'll take it and he'll change. But some other guys on our team, like I can't yell and scream. I have to talk to them and like kind of like sweet talk essentially. And it sounds a little cliche, but sometimes it's what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, for you, I mean, here you are. You're walking into your last season, and this is a little different for you because your coach, James Herberg, great guy. When you guys lost to Princeton in the sections last year, little did you know, or maybe little did he know, that was his last game. He's now moved on to St. John's to coach up there. It's going to be different, right, for you?
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a huge change with our new coaching staff, but it's going to be super nice. Whole new offense, whole new defense. But our new head coach, Greg Enns, amazing human being. I love him. I'm bought in. He's bought in. So I feel like with him and the rest of our coaching staff, it's going to be, I think we have a shot to do something special this year.
Does it make this season a little less stressful to have already made this big life decision? And now you don't have to worry about that part of it.
Yeah, for sure. It was just about last year too.
Yeah.
It was, obviously I didn't play. Like it was a huge disappointment, but even going into it, I wasn't stressed about making the decision that I was going to change my life forever.
How are you from that? You had I think it's called a Frank injury.
A Jones fracture.
Jones fracture.
Mm-hmm.
That was even before. In fact, I was there when I saw you in the cast in August. Where are you now? I know you played at the end of the year. You got a chance to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, where are you right now?
Well, I actually broke it again this winter.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, in training. So I had another surgery on it, second surgery. But now I just got cleared yesterday to play, go 100%. So I'm feeling it out. Got to knock the rust off a little bit, but I'm feeling amazing. Body feels great. Foot feels better than it did last time. So,
and you'll feel like you'll be ready to go 100% for this year.
For sure. Yeah. We have our second summer camp next week, and I'll even be practicing, playing a little bit in that too. So
okay,
I'm ready to go.
That's great. I talked to both of your coaches, okay? And I asked them about you guys. I want to read what Brad Biscow told me about you. I cannot stress enough the impact he has had on our culture as we have built a culture around work and how he truly embodies what we are all about at Forest Lake. Where we focus on how we focus on hard work and make that a part of everything we do. From his first tackle in a varsity scrimmage his freshman year to 87 tackles and 32 tackles for losses as a junior, being an all-state player last year. He has been there with me every step of the way. I could not be more thankful. When you hear something like that, I know you guys have a special relationship. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel thankful for the opportunities that I've been given because I believe there's no such thing as a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I believe that Coach Biscoe he came to Forest Lake and brought all of his guys with him at that certain time for a reason. And I'm grateful that I've been able to play 3, now 4 years with him as my coach. I can't thank him enough for the opportunity he's given me because we've spent a lot of time like taking extra time studying plays, studying offenses, recognizing schemes, learning how to read tackles. And I can't thank him enough. He's an absolutely wonderful coach. And I could say things just like that about him, about how he's like, he takes his time and he doesn't yell and scream at you. and then like not come and talk to you about it later. Like obviously he'll get mad like if you make a stupid mistake, like every good coach should. Right. But after that, he'll come and he'll talk to you. He'll tell you why he was mad. He'll tell you what you need to do to fix it. And he'll have a relationship with you. He's not just one-sided.
And that's what great coaches do.
Of course.
You've started every game, 30 straight since freshman year.
I have.
Yeah, that's impressive. All right, so I talked to James. Here's what he said about you. And it's a little bit long, but I'll read it quick. Very thoughtful young man that cares about the legacy he leaves behind. After Andrew suffered a Jones fracture in his foot in the middle of the summer last year, he was devastated. However, didn't pout in front of his teammates. In fact, he was at practice every day. He was teaching, coaching, and helping develop the players on the offensive line. He wanted the team to do well. We have multiple lifting sessions in the summer. The older guys lift first and then younger sessions after. Andrew has always stayed after and helped teach, build relationships, and be a great teammate to his young teammates. Andrew serves others, and even if Andrew goes first overall in the NFL draft someday, I'll still be most proud of his servant leadership. When you hear that, what do you think?
It just makes me feel grateful for having a coach like that who notices stuff like that. Yeah. I guess at the end of the day, it's what I do, but for him to be noticing stuff like that, it makes me feel amazing. I know a big thing like he said, the legacy I leave behind, it's not really what I do when I'm there, it's what they think of me when I'm gone. So that's a huge thing that I'm trying to build my legacy, coach. I want to be known as a great human being. Right. And just doing all the stuff I've been doing is really what
this is what it's all about. I'm sorry, but that's what it's all about, right? I mean, this period of time in high school is so short, and to be able to make an impact, and not just on the field with your play, which you both do, and you're both very good. Obviously, you wouldn't be going to play Division I football if you weren't. But it's the little things that you do that probably makes an even bigger impact. So congratulations to both of you for doing that. These guys are both 4-star recruits. They're going to the Gophers as part of this great 2026 Gopher football class. Roman Voss is also part of that, the star player out of Jackson County Central. Did you recruit him? I mean, you guys committed a long time ago. Verbally committed. You haven't signed anything, but verbally committed. But Roman just committed this summer. Did you recruit him? Did you talk to him? What'd you do?
I would like shoot a text message here and there like, hey, Minnesota's a school for you. I mean, close to home, great program, great people. You can study anything you want there, really. Yeah. And when we were at we went to the first official visit.
Yeah.
And while we were there,
his first official visit.
First official visit.
Because we were on the second weekend. He was on the first weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we still thought to stop by because, got to get around the guys.
Kind of squeeze it a little bit.
Right. We talked to him a little bit and we tried to push him. We asked him a few questions. Like it was down to his last two between Alabama and Minnesota. Yeah. And, we said like, what makes the difference between Minnesota and Alabama? And he says like, it's close to home. And also like the people here, the people at Minnesota, they don't just see you as like a number or a player. They see you as like a human being and someone who contributes to the program.
Very exciting. I mean, when you look at the list, and of course there's names on there, we don't know who they are yet. We haven't seen them play. But you guys know these guys. You guys have heard of these guys. You've probably met these guys. How excited are you about the next step, the next level of play?
I couldn't be more excited. I don't know about Howie, but I'm early enrolling this winter.
Oh, you are? So January, you're gone.
Yep, exactly. So it's kind of a bittersweet knowing I'll never be in high school again, but it's more sweet than bitter because I'm excited for the next steps and get down there and start playing some real football.
I know there's football players that really feel like that's a big deal to get that head start. Are you able to do that or?
No, actually this past spring I took second in state for shot put and discus, and that left a sour taste in my mouth. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to try to take it all home.
Okay, cool. I don't know if you guys are gamers. I'm a gamer. I love the college football game that came out last year. How cool is it going to be that maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, you're actually in a video game? Have you thought about that at all?
I've thought about it a little bit, and I don't think I've really wrapped my head around it really. Because like when I was younger, my brother would be like, I'm going to develop a video game one day. I said, perfect, put me in it. And now I'm actually going to get the opportunity to be in a video game. And people like go crazy about it. They're like, oh, Howie, you're going to be in a video game. I'm like, yeah, I don't really understand it that much because all I've really done is sit down and just play the game, not really thinking like that could be me one day.
Right. I mean, are you going to worry about your rating?
No.
When it comes out for the first time?
It might be in the back of my mind, like, damn, they probably could have put me a little higher. But no, it really doesn't matter to me. I guess it's obviously super cool.
Yeah,
super cool that I'm going to be in a video game, obviously every kid's dream.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, to me, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm just here to play good football. So
I know you are. I know you are. Will you go back to campus this fall? Do you still have a lot of visiting to do at the U, or is it just now a fun to go to a Gopher game or two? What do you do now as you kind of in this middle ground between getting your high school season done and then moving on to Gophers? What's the plan for the fall?
I mean, I'd say the plan is to obviously like focus on high school football because that's what I'm in right now. I'm not a Gopher yet. I'm committed, but right now I'm still a Ranger, right? And always a Ranger at heart, forever and ever. I've seen everything at the Gophers. Like nothing's new. I'm sold. You're sold. Like when I said I committed. I'm not going anywhere else. I'm obviously going to go there, and I'm going to be rooting and chanting for us, and I'm going to be watching every single game every Saturday and just enjoying my time being there.
Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it very much. And we'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
The Shaver Prep Football Podcast drops every Monday, and you can catch us on YouTube and where podcasts can be found. My thanks to producer Alex Haugen and the great folks here at Talk North. Lots to talk about next week. Thanks for watching and listening, and I'll see you next week.